and this time it's a late afternoon session on a new stretch of my local river, which I quite fancy for a chub or a nice roach. I don't know, it might be a total blank, but it's only a short session, as long as it takes me to trot through a couple of smallish pools and establish whether there's fish there or not. If I get a bite or two and a fish, I will be extremely chuffed with myself. So let's see how this works out. It's a question of finding a nice easy little flowing section. The boils on the near side and the current slowing looks quite promising, so I think that's going to be the first spot to try. Yeah, so finding time has been a bit of a problem recently, and therefore I'm back on the local river again. Just a quick visit after work for less than 2 hours really before it gets too dark to float fish. You probably recognise this river, it's a local river. I can walk to the top end from my house and I fish for trout quite a bit there. You've probably seen it on a lot of my videos. Different character here. It's only a few miles downstream, but the river is a little bit larger and has some much quieter water, deeper pools. Now, I'm familiar with fishing for trout in the summer down here, but I've never actually tried in the winter for coarse species on this particular stretch, so it's a little bit of a novelty, an interesting experiment. And as you've probably noticed, it's a similar tackle from what I've been using for the rest of the winter. It's a 12-foot float rod, centre pin reel, 3.5 pound main line. The only difference is I've stepped up the hook length a bit to 3 pounds, and I've got a bigger hook on because I'm fishing bread flake. So it's a size 10 hook with a decent chunk of bread flake on. Hoping for chub and possibly a decent roach. Float rod's fine for the chub I sort of expect here, which over the years, when I can find them, have maybe averaged 1.5 to 2.5 pounds. Not big fish really. If I was expecting much bigger fish, I'd probably use a beefier rod, like an Avon type rod or something, which would be a lot more suitable for bullying chub away from snags, big chub that is, in good winter form, because they are strong fish in the winter, there's no doubt about it. Totally different from the summer, where they tend to be a little bit flaccid and lank, and quite a disappointment if you're fishing for sea trout or brown trout at night and you hook a sort of medium-sized chub. They can be quite disappointing to play out. But not so in the winter. Totally different fish, very steely and very strong. And as ever, the method I'm using is let the float trundle through the swim, holding it back quite a bit. I'm fishing maybe 6 inches, something like that, over depth, and just holding back so that bait just bounces slowly along the bottom and doesn't sort of rush past the fish too quickly. They've got a little bit of time to make up their mind whether they want to eat the bread or not. So in this very bitter winter weather, a roving approach is often the undoing of many a fine chub. Very cold conditions. But the cold doesn't always deter the chub from feeding. Always a chance. Could be a trout, could be a decent chub, I don't know. It's a good fish. And that's on the worm. I'm not seeing any acrobatics, so my money is on a decent chub. But it could be a decent sized brownie. It's a chub. Are you ready? Chub. And a good one. Oh yes. Oh aye. Now unfortunately the cold does have an adverse effect on the chest camera batteries, and it ran out of charge at this point, so I've only got the footage off the phone. And here's an example of just how hard these fish can fight. Absolutely blown away by this one. I never thought it was going to give up. I haven't edited anything out at all, so it's the whole fight. Absolute classic chub. Well folks, this is I think the best one I've ever had from this river, far and away. He's an absolutely pristine chub, look at that. That just shows the importance of changing swims when you think you have to. That's absolute cracker. Well chuffed with that. Best chub of the season. And there's still time to go. Oh, that is a trout. There he's gone. And so the moral of the story, basically don't give up and try a few swims. Not very promising conditions, very cold. I mean, it's 1 degree now and dropping. I'm just, my fingers are dropping off of my toes. I'm going to have to go home and get warm again. I'm not bothering fishing into the dark. That'll involve ledgering, and I can't really see the float anymore now, but more than happy with the result. I mean, only, what, 2 bites, but 2 good fish. And how many different pools did I try? Maybe 5, 6. So it's well worth doing a bit of roving in the winter to find the fish. They won't move about much. You've got to find them, they won't find you. And this is the downside, the climb back up these steps, which is quite tough. Anyway, it's sort of keeping me fit anyway. And look at that for a sunset over there. Cold winter sunset. And it's time I got back home and a nice cup of tea and a hot shower. So if you've enjoyed the content, please subscribe, share, and maybe if you feel so inclined, give us a bit of a comment. And I'll see you again for the next fishing adventure. Okay, take care, bye bye.